I recorded my comedy album Off-White in 2022 with Blonde Medicine Records. It's based off a one-woman show I did for Hollywood Fringe with many jokes I wrote in my first 9 years of comedy and some written right before it was recorded in 2022. It's a fun journey of a misfit Latina, me, and it's for any kid who felt like they didn't fit in, and it's a love letter to my mom and to Latin America. This is Off-White.
Thank you guys so much. Hi. If you don't know me, you can't tell by looking at me. I am Latina. I'm Latina, but I am 30, so my kids are grown. Thank you. Thank you. My mom is so proud. It's amazing. I'm half white, half Latina. My parents are so different. I asked my dad for advice. He's like, put your money in a 401k. I asked my mom for advice, and she's like, mija, que presti plans. Because then you can have somebody else's 401k. Smart lady, I love it. She came to this country 40 years ago to leave a dictatorship, and I admire that. It's hard to learn a new language. She still struggles. We used to visit Nicaragua a lot growing up. Oh my gosh, so many visits. And my cousins are tough people. Like, they don't let you be weak. Like, I told my cousins I wanted to be a vegan, and they made me kill a chicken. Right there. That's not the worst story was when my aunt bought me this pet armadillo. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. She bought me dinner. Here's the thing. In Nicaragua, anybody could just come into your house. Like, they just walk in and they sell you things. They sell you soda, candy, armadillos. It's like Petco on the go. And this girl came in with 2 armadillos. I was like, oh my God, can we have one? My aunt's like, Jess, Mia, Jess, great idea. And she bought one. I was like, I will name him Jose. And she took me to the park. I got ice cream. I came back. You guys, we had the best pulled pork of my life. It was Jose. And I have an uncle. He's a communist. He's a communist and a misogynist, so he loves to share his dick with everybody. Nicaragua is the country everybody does seem to forget about, I gotta say. Like, I tried being friends with the Mexican kids growing up. They're always like, no, white girl. I'm like, no, I'm Nicaraguan. They're like, stop making up country. That's sad. And then my white friends only remember countries they've ziplined in. I'm like, that's Costa Rica. It's a different country. Some people are like, oh my God, all Latin America. It's all just Mexico. You've seen one, you've seen them all. You got Mexico, South Mexico, and then all the way South Nazi Mexico. It's Argentina. But they're not the same. They've got different music, different food, different stories. I love a good ghost story. My uncle used to tell these to me. Like, Mexico has La Llorona, which you might have heard of. She's a lady, she drowned her kids, now she's a ghost coming to get yours. Okay. We have La Moguana. She was an indigenous princess who fell in love with a Spaniard. He was like, where do you keep your gold? She's like, it's over here. And then he stabbed her. She died. He took all of her gold. And now she haunts the roads of Nicaragua, making men crash their cars if they cheat on their wives. And all the men in my family have seen her. Oh my God, my grandfather was such a womanizer. When he died, we saw rabbits doing it in the front yard. I was like, it's him! You guys take a picture here reincarnating. That's messed up. Grandma's right there. We have a lot of toxic masculinity in Latin America, a lot of that, but we call it... Yes, we do, and we call it machismo. That's toxic masculinity in Spanish. It is the only thing there more pure than cocaine. It is so bad. I have cousins who won't even smile for pictures because they think it makes them look gay. Which I think is wild, because here we're like, men don't cry enough. In Nicaragua, they don't even smile. They're like, no emotions, all of them are gay. Bury them down. And I am here as a PSA, really, for the gentlemen. You're allowed to smile. Smiling does not make you gay, unless there is a dick in your butt. During the smile. In which case, that is pretty gay. It's kind of the definition. Although it is 2022, you could just be having a day. Whatever. See where it goes. It's a pandemic. Woo! I did have a hard time fitting in, being half and half. Like it's kind of rough. Like you don't really have a sense of belonging in your own community. Like even your own family. My cousins made fun of me so much, both the white ones and the Latin ones, both of them. I always wanted to find my thing. Like what am I good at? What's my sense of belonging? Who am I? But I also had a giant ego, like every little kid. Have you ever noticed that little kids have all the ego and none of the talent? They do. I have a niece, she's always like, clap for me, clap for me. I'm like, why, hon? She's like, I pooped. That's definitely me as a child. No, I'm on a stage, so there you go. I remember trying so many little things, like I tried the clarinet for a while. By the way, clarinet is like if a flute got depression. Oh my goodness, clarinet. And with every instrument, they make you learn a little song called Hot Cross Buns. If they teach you the clarinet, you learn stale ass buns. I don't even know how they invented that or why. Somebody was just like, what if we take like a tiny shard of wood that gives you splinters and put it in our mouth and just blow on it like this? Maybe it'll make a song, and 150 years later, it did. That's how long it took to invent the clarinet. I googled it. Quit clarinet. Then I did show choir for a little bit, which is choir with dancing. Specifically, it's all the dance moves from cheerleading that were too dorky for cheerleaders. And that is show choir. That's it. It's just a lot of this. Windmill to the right. 2, 3, 4. Windmill to the left. 2, 3, 4. Followed by this really sexy dance move. Can you handle it, sir? I don't know, like hold your pants. Because I'm gonna step it up with dimension. What is that, a box step? Oh wow, amazing. I quit choir. They were kind of catty, very catty. First sopranos, always bitchy. Quit choir, and then I did track and field for a while, which was fun, because when you're bad at something, everyone likes you. They're just like, she's our mascot. we don't know why she's here. Are you okay? I think she's gonna throw up. But the place where I really found my sense of belonging was church. Oh my God, church was so fun. I was on the worship team, which if you don't know what a worship team is, sinner. It's the church band, you guys. Like think of like a beautiful black gospel choir, and then just pair that back, pair that back, pair that back, pair that back to 5 white people trying their best. We're doing it. I played the shaker egg. That was my instrument because that was the only non-white, and someone had to keep rhythm. They're like, come here, you look like Gloria Estefan. The rhythm's gonna get us, she's got it. Oh my gosh, vacation? That's a lot of fun. We're like, don't have sex. My mom did it too. She's like, Kathy, don't give away the free samples, mija. I'm like, but Mom, it works for Costco. We signed purity contracts. I don't know if you guys signed those. I signed a purity contract, and those are the first contracts me and all of my friends broke. Everyone I know broke their contract, even the weird kids. Right? They just find each other. That's what Comic-Con is for. It is. What can I say? So I got married at 19 because I was horny and afraid of going to hell. And I got divorced. Who saw that coming? Not me. If you know any teenagers who want to get married, I want you to slap them. And be like, you're not in love, it's a sugar high. Okay? Because it took me to my mid-20s to figure out that half of my emotions are just digestive issues. I was on a date once. My palms were sweaty, my stomach was in a knot. I was like, this could be the one. And then I took a shit. It's like, oh my God, it wasn't love. I needed fiber. My first marriage was such a disaster. Oh. Getting married to a 19-year-old is like adopting an 8-year-old child. Every conversation, can we get the new Call of Duty? I'm like, no. Or can we get a ferret? I'm like, can you get a job? It's like, yeah, but then who would take care of the ferret? Touche. And then for all of the waiting for marriage, all of the angst, we barely ever had sex. Because he was addicted to World of Warcraft. Yeah, that groan is the same sound my pussy made. Sad pussy. And I would try so hard. I'd put on a little outfit, light the candles, be like, you want some of this, babe? He'd be like, not now, I'm doing a quest. Put your boobs away, I've seen them. Look, I gotta find a magical jewel by a cave through an enchanted forest. I'm like, look, honey, I have a magical jewel. It's right by a cave. You didn't have to go through a forest, because I clear cut that shit. Go. We got divorced. You know when it's time to get a divorce, you like feel it in your bones, you know? Like I had dreams they got abducted by aliens and I gave them the probes. I was like, these fit, try I started getting turned on by weird things. Like my nipples got hard when he sneezed. Because in that moment, he stopped breathing. I was like, ooh, the taste of freedom! So close! And I did this thing, you ever do this, where you compare two sins, like which is the worst sin, and then you don't do the worst one? I said that the most complicated way. Do you ever have two sins and you compare them and then you pick the less bad one? And you do that instead? I did that. I was like, okay, it's either divorce or murder. Someone's been divorced. So I did it, and I told church, I was like, I'm leaving my husband, this is no more. And they were like, bam, you're gone. Like, you're out of the worship team. Give us back the shaker egg. Okay, here you go. This is sad. But I did choose the right thing. I could have a Dateline episode right now. I could have a podcast series if I wanted. But I chose life, sir. Okay, this got dark. All right. So I got divorced and I got kicked out of church, and then I had to kind of figure out life, because at that point church was like where I belonged. Like that was my thing, it was my family. And I had to decide who I was. It was my identity. Church was my identity at that point. So I thought about it, and I did, I think, what we all do when we don't know what to do in life. I went to grad school. That's right. I went to UC Santa Barbara, which is the opposite of church.
Yes.
For those who don't know, UC Santa Barbara, it has a great transfer program directly to AA. Yeah. Someone's a fellow gaucho back there.
Alcoholic.
It's amazing, yeah. The 12 steps count towards graduation. It's fantastic. Oh my gosh, and when my friends found out I'd never had a drop of alcohol at 22, they were on a mission. Oh, they were just throwing all of the booze at me. They're like, try this, it's Guinness, it tastes like chocolate. Lies! It doesn't, unless that chocolate came from a pirate's butthole. No. Give me something else. They give me whiskey, which whiskey tastes like... with notes of oak. Like, give me something else. They gave me Gatorade. I drank that Gatorade. I'm like, this is a weird flavor. What is it? And they said, it's vodka, bitch. I don't know if you're keeping track, but yes, that was beer than liquor. Which means what? Can anyone say it? That's right. It was someone with a mask on. For those who don't know, the saying is, liquor than beer, you're in the clear. Beer than liquor, never sicker. Foreshadowing. Okay. Oh my goodness. And then okay. Have you ever been so drunk that you clench your butt cheeks together?
Yeah.
To make the room stop spinning? Oh my god. So there I am, like dawdling around town. Like, luckily it was a friend. Oh my god. I remember crossing some train tracks at some point. And then we went to a strip club. A lady one. Not like Lady 2, like it wasn't like a lesbian strip club, which would be cool if it existed. It doesn't. It was like a regular ladies for guys strip club. You gotta specify these days. If I get to the strip club, they get me a lap dance because they thought it would be hilarious to get a former worship leader a lap dance from a lady. So I'm sitting there, just making diamonds back there. And she's dancing. She's like, I hope you don't feel uncomfortable. We'll get through this together. She's texting. I'm sitting there. So how's med school? She's like, I'm pre-law. And that's when I threw up on her feet. Because screw lawyers, am I right, you guys? Now it's a story about how I got banned from the Spearmint Rhino. Oh my goodness. In the same year, I got banned from church and then a strip club. You guys, I don't know if I'm going to heaven or hell. I think when I die, I'm going to wake up at a dentist's office. Purgatory. Man, it was such a transition out of being super religious into being a normal person. Like, I had to figure out, like, even the smallest things, like wearing makeup, because I'd barely ever worn makeup, and it was like 2014, 2013, which was the era of PhD level makeup. Contouring, you guys. Talk contouring. You know, I was at kindergarten level makeup, which in some parts of the country is PhD level makeup. But that's neither here nor there. I had to figure out how to do my face. Okay, guys, you're looking at me kind of confused. Contouring. That's when a woman uses tan makeup to make it look like she's got higher cheekbones, a smaller nose, Puerto Rican parents. Advanced art form. And some men don't like it. They're like, you are being dishonest about your face. And to those gentlemen, I say, y'all have beards. You do. Yeah. That is the male wonder bra of the face. It is. One time I was on a date with a guy, I finally got up close enough to him to realize he used his beard to make it look like he had a chin and a neck. Like, oh my God. I could not unsee that, so I faked an orgasm and left. I got right out of there. He's like, we just got to the restaurant. And that's how I got banned from Panera. Honestly, for women, learning how to do our makeup and our hair, all of that, it is a thing. Like, it is a whole ordeal, every little thing. And that's why I think the hot crazy matrix is real. Which, guys, if you don't know what that is, it's the idea that the more attractive the woman, the more insane she is. And let me tell you, if you meet a woman who wears fake eyelashes in the daytime, she's gonna murder you. That is a fact. They are way too much trouble. Have you tried? Okay, guys, most of you have probably never put on fake eyelashes. Let me explain. Oh, there are chapters to it is a saga to put on fake eyelashes. It starts out first, you gotta open this package. It is done so that people don't steal. Who is stealing the fake eyelashes that they have to make the package so secure that you have to like gnaw on it with your teeth? You like scissors don't even work. You have to use your teeth. But you rip it open. You finally get them on. Get your eyelash. And then the next step is to use the tiny glue. Let me tell you about the tiny glue, gentlemen. It is small. It is so small. It is meant for kitten hands. It's not for adult people hands, this glue. And then you gotta take it out, you put it down, and then you start applying the glue to the lash just so you don't want it too goopy, even careful. Take your time. Okay, perfect. Then you go to put down the glue. And the bottle has fallen on the floor. It always does. It rolls right off the sink, and you go down, and you're like, fuck, okay, gotta get down. Get down on the ground, and you look under the sink to get the glue. And there you find hair. Mostly, a lot of hair. And some pennies. Battery, there's a battery there. What's it for? I'm not sure, but I'll save it for later. Okay, here's the glue. You get that. Also, pink eye. You're down in a safe place. Okay, it's time to put the lash on. You put the lash on. Put it on. And then it's poking you right the fuck there. In the middle of your eye socket. Take it off. You're like, okay, I gotta do this again. You take it off. You're like, oh, I gotta take off the excess glue. I gotta put on new glue. Put it on. Again. And you're like, okay, I'm crooked, okay. Is that enough? I think. Okay. Then you're like, oh shit, I'm late. So then you do the other one really, really fast, and you're like, oh shit, okay. And then you go out, and you go on your date, you go to see your friends, and you're like, hi everybody, I'm here. And your date's like, are you having a stroke? call an ambulance. Do you smell toast? That's why I only wear fake eyelashes at weddings and album recordings. Oh God, hot crazy matrix. I swear, the things we do for our looks are crazy making. They're weird. They're weird things we do. Like, what are hair extensions? That's a stranger's hair I put in my hair. Like, I can go up to you on the street and be like, hi, I like your hair. Can I have it? I want to put it in my hair. Not as a wig, but among it. I want your hair to live amongst my hairs. So I can be beautiful. You'd be like, call the cops, we got her. As a serial killer, we're gonna be on Netflix, we got her. We're gonna be documentaries, it's gonna be great. We're famous. Oh my God. No. Feet. Oh my God, there's another one. It's a double standard, men's versus women's feet. Oh boy. Our feet are supposed to be soft and polished. They're supposed to have like a hummingbird on the toe. A rhinestone, perhaps. That's not a word. I said perhaps. I don't know why. A rhinestone, perhaps. Meanwhile, men's feet just look like root vegetables. Men's feet look like raw ginger root. Like, men's feet look like if you took it and you put it in a bowl of holy water under the full moon, it's gonna stop your dad from cheating on your mom. It's called brujeria. Like, I remember getting on the apps, but it was actually on the websites. It was before the apps. It was a long time ago. What's nice about the apps is that you have to match each other, right? Mutually like each other. On the websites back then, it was the Wild West. Anybody could message anybody. I had like OkCupid profile. My inbox was just full of 47-year-old men going, "What's your favorite position, little lady?" And I was like, I don't know, point guard? You gotta be careful. There's some real weird people. Some really weird people on the dating websites, on the apps. Let me tell you my worst date story. I went on a date with a fascist. The audible gasp is appropriate. Look, I didn't know going in that that's what was happening. I wouldn't on purpose go on a date with a fascist. No. I saw tattoos, I thought, this man can smoke a brisket. This will be fun. But you can't tell these days. Is it hipster or into Hitler? I don't know. From the side, I couldn't tell from the angle that his tattoos were lightning bolts. I just saw dragons. I was like, Game of Thrones! Looks fun. But he trapped me. He got me like it was like one of those timeshare situations where I'm like, oh, free dinner? Okay, I'm in. I'll take 2 lobsters, thank you. And he's like, have you heard of racism? I'm like, what is happening? Look. You know how you're half white and half Latina? Have you ever considered just being white? I'm like, that's not how math works. What is happening? He's like, no, look, if you straighten your hair and you dye it blonde, you could be like a funny Tommy Lauren. Appropriate. I'm like, none of this sounds good, sir. No, and plus, how would that even work to just completely change, like to get rid of my Latin DNA? Were they gonna like suck out my fat, spin it around in a centrifuge thing, take out all the Latin DNA, put it back in my butt, and I wake up the next day with a flat booty? And a sudden urge to call a manager? And the need to decorate my whole house with live, laugh, love signs on every wall. She's got live, laugh, love, hang in there, and nurses don't take no shit. It's an addiction. She needs help. Oh gosh. Then, okay, back to my Nazi date. Yeah, what a piece of work. Then he says this. He goes, well, what I really think is that America needs a king. Again, a king would be good, or I'll settle for a dictator. Okay. In my head, I'm like, bro, did you flunk 9th grade? Because we all learned in high school why we have a democracy, right? It's because absolute power corrupts absolutely. Too much power in the hands of a few is really bad for everybody. You know? I feel like I shouldn't have to say it, but these days you kind of do. Actually, that reminds me of another story. Okay, so one time I was making out with this guy, and we're like you do. And I run my hands down the chest, as one is wont to do. And I cupped his titty. It was a surprise titty. I wasn't expecting it. Because I've never felt one from this angle before. It's only been mine. They don't teach you in health class what to do with a man's titty. They don't. Do you shake it? Squeeze it? Do you rub it? I didn't know, so I was just like, quick, move your hand fast. I moved it. I was like, oh no, that's too fast. He's gonna think I'm judging it. I'm not judging. I'm neutral about the titty. I'm just shocked. That's all. I'm like, oh no, I moved my hand too fast. Quick. Disguise that by moving your hands everywhere. I start rubbing his thighs. I'm moving his butt. I'm jiggling it for some. He was a tall man. It was a big butt. That's. I patted his wallet. And at that point, I was like, this is unsalvageable, and I left. Got out. He didn't want the night to end. He sent me a dick pic then. I know, and I said, cool, period. Just not the thing to say. And aside, ladies, if a guy sends you a dick pic and you don't want to say, here are my tips. There are two safe go-tos. Number one, you could call his dick beautiful. That is very attractive. Why? Because every guy feels a little bit insecure about his junk and his twigs and berries. And if you call it pretty, he'll stand up 2 feet taller tomorrow, I promise. Second strategy, guy sends you a dick pic. Just send any emoji. What is anything? A bridge will work. Anything at all, except for the guy with the monocle. Unless you hate him, in which case send 5. Back to my story. Okay, so this guy, the one with the titty, he ghosted me. He ghosts me. I don't hear from him for years. And then one day, he reaches out. He asks me on a date. I say, okay. And I go on the date. You guys, he has lost 50 pounds. At this point, this man has abs, not a 6-pack. You guys, this is a Costco-style 14-pack of abs plus 20% for free. I said that wrong. I'm going to say it again. This wasn't just your ordinary 6-pack of abs. This was a 14-pack. Okay. This wasn't an ordinary 6-pack of abs. This was a Costco-style 14-pack of abs plus 20% extra for free abs. So we did it. It was cool, period. And then he ghosted me again. I was upset. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I asked my guy friends, and they said, "Yeah, that was a revenge fuck." Oh, yeah. Which means, you guys, this man spent the entire pandemic on his Peloton, training like Arya Stark, with a list, like, I'm gonna get them all. I'm gonna get Ashley and Amanda and Cat Alvarado and the Hat. Whoa. Yeah. And the moral of this story is that absolute power corrupts absolutely. Because men can't even handle having abs. Let alone real power. It will drive them mad. Back to my Nazi date, though. Oh, God. It gets worse. Then he says, well, you gotta see, I'm a Christian nationalist. And what that means, it's, as an American patriot, I think everybody should believe in Jesus. And if they don't want to, they can leave America. And I said, I know I didn't just hear you say patriot and forcing religion on everybody in the same sentence about America, right? So you guys, I'm a nerd. And sometimes I think about the colonies. I don't know if y'all have ever been to the East Coast or like to the snow, but winter is cold. I don't know how people survive before Patagonia jackets. That's a lot. And the first colony was Roanoke. And everybody died. They all died. All that was left was skulls, and even worse, dirty dishes. Absolute disaster. And then more colonists came, and they saw the skulls, they saw the dishes, they were like, oh, and no one to clean them. That's okay, we'll invent dish soap. And they kept going, and they made another colony for, religious freedom. And they settled down, and then it turns out winter's not just a one-off. Another winter came. And they couldn't grow food, so they were like, crap. And they came up with another solution, very creative. They decided to eat each other. They ate each other, which is, oof, I would have gone with ramen first. Okay. I also cannot imagine what it would have been like to be the first person to be eaten. And they're like, hey, you come here. We have a very special project for you. You're special. You talk too much. Bam! And then more colonists came, and they heard about the cannibalism, and they were like, still down. Still down? Yeah, we'll just eat Steve. We know who we're going for. That was it, and that's how America started. Religious freedom, which is important. So, I think that's a very important factor of being a patriot. So I said to my date, sir, Christian nationalists do not love this nation. Or this nation. Christian nationalists are like those people who like food that they think it's one food, but it's actually pretending to be another food. Like cauliflower wings. Like that one lady who's like, these are real wings. No, ma'am, that is a fried vegetable covered in Frank's Red Hot. It's not wings, ma'am. And everybody knows Frank's Red Hot makes everything taste like wings. It does. And Frank's Red Hot is like Jesus. And that anything you put it on tastes like Christian. It does. But Christian nationalism is not Christian. It is cauliflower. Filled with razor blades. Because it was prepared by evil racists. There you go, sir. And with that, I'll take my 2 lobsters to go. And I got up and I walked 2 tables over and gave my number to a black guy. The end. Oh man, that day really made me think about what it means to be a Latina, what's important to me as a Latina. Because my mom came to this country to escape a dictator, you guys. Daniel Ortega in the 80s. He was a dictator in the 80s, and then he stepped down in the 90s, and then in like 2000, mid-2000s, he was like, you guys! He was like Daniel Ortega was like a bad ex-boyfriend. He's like, no, I changed. I'll respect you this time. No, I learned. I'll do better. Come on. Take me back. Come on, mi amor. Hermosa. Belleza. Diosa. That's how Latin men talk. That's how they seduce you. They say things like, you're a goddess. You ever meet a white guy who called you a goddess? No. Daniel Ortega to Nicaragua. Come on, let me back into your life. You know you like me. I did some good things. Illiteracy dropped. And Nicaragua was like, okay, come on back. We'll let you in. You can be president. Come on. He was like, psych, bitches. And then he's put in all his judges, and then now he's been president for 20 years. I know. It's crazy. For me as a Latina, democracy is super important. It is. But I still, at that point in time, I was getting closer to knowing what it meant to be a Latina, but I wasn't there yet. I just really wanted a sense of belonging. You know, I wanted a relationship. I kept on dating and dating. Because relationships feel so good. They feel like crawling back up in your mom. It's so cozy. It's warm. It's moist. Or dry if she was a little older. So safe. The point is, it was safe. It's like being in a kangaroo pouch. Love. I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so bad I started lowering my standards. Not Nazi low standards, you know. But you know, I started dating bald guys. Like natural, not skinheads, natural balding. Calm down. Because bald guys, they try harder. They know they're bald. You know, you see a receding hairline, I see a giver. It's like, okay, and if I turn 35, still no guy, still no husband, I'm gonna start getting dating. If I turn 35 and still no husband, I'm gonna start dating guys with back hair. For the album, a man waved. You can't see it. It was funny. We all laughed. You were there for that part with your ears, okay. Back hair, okay. I want to date a guy with back hair. Not till I'm 35, but like, that is another level of lowering my standards. Because hear me out, during sex, I'll pull his hair. Oh, I said that wrong. You can tell I'm tired, I'm flubbing the jokes left and right. I want to date a guy with a mane of back hair, because during sex he's going to pull my hair, I'm going to pull his. It's a game. I started lowering my standards. It was my bad. I got cheated on and I walked into it. I was going out with a guy, he looked like he was half white, half chipmunk. I was like, nobody else will want this adorable man with buck teeth. He will surely not cheat on me. He will be appreciative. But it turns out, great minds think alike. Yeah. And here's how I found out. I saw that she kept on commenting on his Instagram before me, which I did not think was possible. I was like, who is this bitch? So I followed her, and she followed me back. I was like, oh, we're friends now. Okay. What is happening? She reacted to one of my stories. I was like, ooh, now we're best friends. I reacted back. And then I waited for the right time to reach out. Because you can't just reach out to the side chick, because then you'll seem crazy. You gotta ease it in. Easy it in. Right? Then she posted about her horoscope, and I was like, this is it, that's the end. Because guys, horoscopes are women's football. It's how we relate to each other. When we want to make conversation, half the time I'm making stuff up. I'm like, yeah, oh my god, Sagittarius is in reverb. Definitely. So we start chatting, like, oh, I'm a Virgo too. And she's like, oh, what's your boyfriend's sign? And that's when I let her have it. I was like, he is an Aries Taurus rising on the cusp of Pisces, which is March 27th in code. She goes, girl, call me. I call her. She's like, I have been Adam's side chick for the last 2 years. I was shocked. Because we'd only been together 6 months. I'm never doing the math. But we were both side chicks, you guys. What? Yeah, I learned something that day. Yeah, side chicks are like French fries. There's never just one. That was the bottom French fry. The one at the bottom of the bag, which is always the saltiest. But, ooh, it hurts to be a side chick. It hurts more to be the side chick to the side chick. Like, that's not even the first choice side dish. Like that's not even baked beans. That is green beans. So sad. Women complain, they're like, oh, I'm being treated like a piece of meat. This man treated me like Brussels sprouts. I will never understand those women who are like, I'm a proud side chick. I took your man. I'm like, no, honey, you are coleslaw. And coleslaw is nobody's favorite. Yeah, no one takes pictures of their coleslaw to put on Instagram. They also don't take pictures of their side chick. There you go. That broke my heart. Honestly, it put me off men. I was like, no. You know what? I'm gonna try dating women for a little bit. Just to see how that goes. I always thought women were beautiful. They are. They're prettier. Let's all agree on that. I think we can. Mm-hmm. I'm getting yups from everywhere, but mostly dudes, which is interesting. Oh my god. I set my Tinder to women seeking women. Turns out that's how you meet couples. Oh my god. And it's never anyone wanting to share a hot guy. That's not a thing. It's always some gorgeous woman with a guy named Steve. She's like, come on, he's so nice. It's his birthday, come on. Come on, he has a mutual fund. Nice house, come on. Take a shift, I'm tired of faking it. I'm gonna travel. Let's do that. Hashtag Wanderlust. Go off into the world. I went to India. India's the same place all rich white ladies go and come back and say the same thing. They're always like, I am so changed. I saw poverty, I'm not going to do anything about it, but I am better than you. Yoga, kale, I have no black friends. Then I went to Spain, because you gotta go to Spain. Oh my gosh, if you're Latin America, you got it, that's the motherland, right? I had to go to the motherland. Also because I was like, oh, maybe I'll find people who look like me, and I'll finally have a sense of belonging that I've been seeking my entire life. And I get there, and they clocked me from a mile away. They were like, you are not of pure blood. It's like they knew. They're like, no, your face angles are all off. You are not European. You clearly are partially indigenous. I was like, this feels oddly eugenicist. It's like they have a pamphlet or something. I'm surprised they didn't take out like calipers, start measuring my skull. No, definitely not a Spaniard. Get out of here. Bye. Going to Spain as a Latin American is a lot like listening to a Bill Cosby album as a woman. It's really fun till you remember all the history. Even their tour guides are like super jaded to their own like horrible past. They're like, this is a statue. They're like, this is the statue of solid gold. We got the gold by burning down Guatemala. And on your other side, over here, you'll see, in the middle of Madrid Square, it is the garrote station. We use the garrote, you pull the wire, the head pop off, public execution. So beautiful. Take a picture for Instagram. I'm like, okay, hashtag Wanderlust. That's dark. My friend and I we're wandering around Spain. We're in Barcelona. We took this Uber, and the Uber driver is like, hey, you see that park over there? If you go down that path, you'll find a really cool statue of an elephant. It's great. And my friend and I were like, yeah, let's do that. In retrospect, that sounds like the beginning of the movie Taken. But she knew Aikido, so I was down. We go down the path. And instead of an elephant, it wasn't an elephant. It was this 3-story fountain. And on the top of that fountain, there was this gold-plated statue, huge. It was like a goddess of some sort, like Athena, a chariot, horses, like a dozen horses. This is a lot of gold. I'm looking at that statue, and I felt this anger well up in my stomach. As I flashed back to everything in Nicaragua that I ever saw growing up, I flashed back to the kids who were selling armadillos in the street instead of going to school. I thought about the fact that Nicaragua just got streets like a decade ago. I thought about everything my uncle ever told me when he would bum me out with his boring-ass commie stories. About how the Spanish tricked the indigenous people, trading mirrors for gold. I felt this anger coming from within, like a rage from my ancestors. Even my friend is like, hashtag Wanderlust. But I can't deal with that right now. I am too busy thinking about La Moquana's fucking gold. That's it right there. Oh, now I get it. I get why she haunted Spain for 400 years. Sorry. I get why she decided to haunt Nicaragua for 400 years, because I'd have a grudge too if an entire nation treated my continent like a fucked up Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm gonna haunt these mothers. I said, I'm gonna haunt these Spanish bastards for 400 years too. She's got the right idea. Because I swear, if you pillage and raid countries, if you take everything from a whole continent to decorate, that's like having all of the money to end world hunger. And then just buying Twitter. And that day I realized I didn't need anybody's permission to feel like a real Latina. Thank you guys so much.